Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Chuck Jones, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about the CAGED system again. I've been bringing this up in a few videos in the past, and it's just a really cool concept for visualizing the guitar neck. So before I get into that, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Chuck Jones Music, and click the notification bell so you'll be sure to be notified anytime I post a new video. Please comment, leave some comments in the comments section if you're so inclined, and I'll get back to you on that. I'll dive right in here. What I'm going to talk about today is caged up the neck. And this is just a way of saying how you can take the system, which starts out in the open position. You have your C, A, G, E, and D chords. You can take those chords up the neck, those formations, call them C formation, A formation, G formation, E formation, D formation. And if you take those up the neck and use your index finger as sort of a bar, sort of a capo, that's another way of looking at this, is if, in other words, if I'm going to play a C chord there and I want to play a C chord using this A formation, well, I would put a capo on the 3rd fret, and now I can play a C chord using the A formation. If I wanted to play a C chord using the G formation, then I'd have to put the capo on the 5th fret, and there's my C chord with a G formation, capo on the 5th fret. If I want to do it with a E formation, I would have to put the capo on the 8th fret, and there's my E. And likewise, two more up the neck there, and we get our D formation, which is a C chord, basically an octave up. To get totally octave up, we'd have to do the 12th fret. That's an octave up from where we started. So all the CAGED system does, it gives you these 5 different areas on the neck and a way to look at them where you don't have to use a capo. You can just use your index finger to bar for the chords, and the chords are actually just the beginning. After we learn the chords and internalize those, we'll show you how each chord formation and its spot on the neck shows you how to play the chord arpeggio, the pentatonic scale, the major scale, the minor scale, the modes, all of the modes. And so anyway, it's a really deep concept, and so I'm going to go ahead and get into the meat of today's lesson, which is how to take all 5 chords, C, A, G, E, and D, and play them up the neck without a capo, using your index finger as your capo. So basically, there's your C open. If you want to play that in the A position, you go to the 3rd fret. You can play these chords with any fingering that's comfortable for you. I just have certain fingerings that I play, and sometimes I'll play a different fingering on the same chord, just depending on where I'm coming from and where I want to go to from that chord. For the A position up the neck, I generally use a double bar, unless it's a classical piece or something like that, and I need to have flexibility on the melody. So basically, C, A, 3rd position, a G position would be at the 5th fret bar, then 8th fret bar for the E position, then 10th fret for the D position. And okay, so I'm just going to go through the word caged, C-A-G-E-D, explaining each one of these to you. So when I start at A, you'll notice that you just start at A in the word caged and go all the way back to the letter C. And it just kind of cycles that way on through. So we had C, A, G, E, D. Now we're going to do A, G, E, D, C, right? So once again, you have A, open, 2nd fret for the G formation of an A chord, 5th fret for the E formation of an A chord, 7th fret for the D formation, and 9th fret for the C formation. So that's A. Then you go to G open, and E formation would be 3rd fret, D formation would be 5th fret, C formation 7th fret, A formation 10th fret. So once again on G you have G, E, D, C, A. Then we go to the E chord, E open, then for the D formation, we go to the 2nd fret, C formation, 4th fret, A formation, 7th fret, and G formation, 9th fret. Now these chords are kind of hard to make with a bar, some of them, so like I say, you don't have to use all the fingers. You can just use, you don't have to play all of the strings, rather. You can just use some of the strings. And so that's your E formation up the neck. The last chord formation in the CAGED system would be the D chord. So then you have your D open, then you have C formation D chord, then A formation, which is at the 2nd fret, A formation D chord, which is the A fret, G formation at the 7th fret, and E formation at the 10th fret. If you go to the 12th fret, that's an octave up from where we started down here. So basically what you're learning to do is to play all of these chords with different fingerings, like the C chord like that, A chord like that or that, G chord is the same because your index is free when in a regular G chord. So E chord, you're playing it like that, and D chord, you're playing it like that. So once again, you have C. It's good to practice these ascending and descending as well, guys. A, G, E, and D chord. So there you have it, folks. That's the basic premise that I wanted to introduce to you today, the basic concept anyway, involving the CAGED system. And as I say, I will take these 5 different positions and show you how you can really apply them to anything from arpeggios to scales and on and on. And it really does go fairly deep eventually if you take something like just a jazz changes, like a little Joe Pass rendition of Wine and Roses. Those are straight out of the CAGED. Like that's a D chord, and I'm just playing a D major 7 there. I'm sorry, that's an F chord. It's a D formation F chord, but it's an F major. And this would be an F chord as well, but it would be an F6/9, and I'm playing it here. It's actually a C formation, like so. It might be a little easier to explain this to you if I just show you this one little thing here, like say in the key of A. There's an A. Well, let's see now. I only go major 7. I'm just going to go strictly in major chords. So you got A. So you see, you can pare these chords down, and they'll be a little more usable in everyday guitar work, such as solos and chord melody and things of that nature. And eventually, I'll get into showing you how these relate to those kind of hammer-ons. That's just a G chord, but you're just using. It's a G chord, but you're just using the inside of the chord. And same here. That's a C chord formation, D, but you're just using 3 notes in a chord, the third, fifth, and the tonic third. So it is very open-ended, and I will get into the rest of it eventually. But I just wanted to give you that basic concept and get you used to thinking about all 5 of these chords up and down the neck. And practice that and just think about it and try to internalize that concept. And eventually you will be able to play any song, any key, any lick, any key, anywhere on the neck. And you'll have an idea of what you're doing as well. So now you know that's a C chord all the way up the neck. You know that's an A chord. You know that's a G. That's an E. And that's a D. So there you go, folks. I appreciate you watching today. Once again, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click on the notification bell. Thank you, folks, for listening. See you next time.